are scary.
Dark Rose Valkyrie is the newest JRPG from Compile Heart with the assistance of two artists who worked on Namco's Tale of series, hence the familiar looking art style. But is this a rose worth picking, or one covered with thorns?
Oh my. Have you come to peek at me in the shower?
Set in an alternative version of early 20th century Japan, players assume the role of Asashi, who commands the Valkyrie Force, a small army that fights infected people known as the Chimera. Like previous Compile Heart games, you can expect lots of flirting and humorous dialogue. Fortunately, the conversations are engaging, and the solid translation brings the characters to life with your choice of English or Japanese dub. In many ways, this game reminds me of Sakura Wars. In fact, you're encouraged to constantly talk to your comrades to strengthen relationships and unlock new skills. However, don't become too invested because there are certain points where you have to interview characters to find a traitor or liar. So, be careful.
Whew, guess it's time to go look for some cute girls.
Dark Rose Valkyrie is a turn-based RPG with a menu-driven interface. You can use attacks, guards, magic, as well as special attacks and limit breakers. Upon first glance, this might look generic, but there is a bit of strategy behind this. Every action has a delay depending on its level, and with careful timing you can stack multiple attacks on different characters in your party. This can be effective for breaking an enemy's guard to inflict more damage. Stacking enough combos and guard breaks will trigger an attack from your supporting characters for massive damage.
Captain, what are your next orders?
Unfortunately, the battle system isn't backed by enough enemy variety, with most dungeons consisting of the same 3 or 4 enemies. The long battles combined with the repetitive enemies and scenery turn this game into a chore. This poor pacing is compounded by the side missions, which act as choke points that force you to revisit previous environments and enemies to unlock the next story mission. It feels like unnecessary padding to help tick the box that promises 40 hours of gameplay.
But you have authority to issue pay cuts? What?
In terms of graphics, Dark Rose was clearly made with a lower budget, but at least the character models are nice and colourful. Sadly, the game doesn't run at a solid 60 frames per second like Fairy Fence on the PS4. Instead, you get an unlocked frame rate which can go from 60 frames per second down to the teens in the open city environment. The choppy frame rates combined with the character's loud panting noises makes exploration rather tedious. Despite the negative comments, I do want to highlight the positives on the back end. First off, the game lets you freely adjust the difficulty at any point and skip animations or skip them automatically by default, which is excellent. The dungeons also contain multiple points that allow you to save the game or quickly escape the dungeon. Loading times are super short, and I mean short. And unlike Persona 5, it's not an instant game over when the protagonist dies. In its own little ways, the game has merit, but ultimately I can't recommend it. Which is a shame, because I wanted to like Dark Rose Valkyrie. The funny dialogue and those brief battles when you fight an engaging boss is when the game truly shines. In the first couple of hours, I was ready to say yes, buy this game, it's lovely. Then it falls apart when you hit a brick wall with mundane dungeons, poor pacing and recycled content. But I still hope that Compile Heart takes another crack at this franchise, since the potential is here. Who knows? Dark Rose Valkyrie 2 might be the game they originally intended to make.
You might be a little unreliable. I would rather not say anything.
I've seen dogs with better scores.
Try harder, okay? Men are scary.
I don't have much to say.
You gotta put a little more elbow grease in it, man.